What's going on? This is Martin, owner and trainer Fuller Fitness, and this is a back day for me. I recorded my dumbbell rolls, but on a different platform. So for this one, is to focus on my pull-ups. With this one, at least these sets here, is to do 3 sets of 2. And I'm starting with wide grip pull-ups. I did 1 set of wide grip pull-ups before recording just to see if I can actually do it today. And then I'll do a third. So the interesting thing, it can to us. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it. A lot of people have their own opinion, and that's good, possibly great, for people to have their own opinion. But the interesting thing about that, especially for those who see me do 2 pull-ups, one, I'm not a small or a light person, so the heavier you are, the more challenging it is to do pull-ups. How often do you see somebody, any guy, I've never seen a female do it, but a guy that's over 250 doing a certain number of reps for their pull-ups. And it's not that I can't do more, but once maybe I should try to max out for 1 set at a certain angle, then pick a different angle and do as many as I can, or do a certain number maybe. But for the likelihood of not doing an unnecessary amount of stress that I might not be able to recover from, you just kind of take it easy a little bit, do a couple of reps, anywhere between 2 and 8 reps. Even if you do anywhere between 1 and 8 reps. The good thing is, whatever the workout is that many of us are doing, if you're doing stuff and it works for you, don't stop doing it just because certain people say something about it. So this will be my third and last set, even though you didn't see the first set. That's not too narrow. All right, so now, especially with the way that I like to do stuff, specifically for pull-ups, is to do multiple angles when I do my pull-ups. That's just a preference I've had for, I'm not even sure how many years, but I've had a preference towards hitting multiple angles when doing my pull-ups. So I just did wide grip, which should be obvious to anybody that watched, is watching. So now to move it in to where it's more, I'm not sure if narrow grip is the right word to use, but obviously it's not wide grip anymore. Narrow grip is what's in my head, but obviously I'm closer, but still hopefully about shoulder width apart, and same thing, anywhere between 2 and 4 reps for probably 3 sets. And then I gotta figure out if I'm gonna bring it in more and do pull-ups, narrow grip pull-ups, or whatever the inside, furthest inside is, or I'll actually use my neutral grip bar and do my pull-ups that way. In fact, I might actually wrap it around the bar and do my pull-ups that way, which I haven't done in a long time, so I might actually do that. So obviously it's closer, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a few reps, sets there. That's another thing about complaints about people not doing more reps or certain number of sets or whatever the complaints are when people, certain people like myself, don't do more reps, um, or the people that are bored enough to see people like me and hey, you need to cut and do more cardio. And who the hell told you that? It's up to you to decide what I do at my fucking workout. Like, it's interesting that people are bored enough to watch certain people's videos and say stuff to us as if we need your fucking permission to do stuff. Um, Especially if you guys aren't that strong yourself. You're not that strong and not capable of doing what some of us are doing, but have the nerve to say stuff to us on our videos. Um, the one good thing about me doing the stuff that I'm doing is nobody can say fake weight or any of that dumb shit that they say to some of us. Fake weight or anything like that, because you can't really fake a pull-up. So other than unless you consider doing 1, 2, 3, or 4 reps fake, which is stupid. But again, to do what works for you, if it's fun. And then another thing too, for me being is big, kind of big, being kind of heavy, to instead of doing 6 or more reps, but having awful form, what's the point? So that's another thing. If you're able to do anywhere between 1 and 6 reps, and your form is actually good, then that should be more important. Even though there's a lot of controversy on form and depth and all this extra garbage that a lot of people are talking about. To a certain degree, I get it, to where it seems like it's a waste of time if you don't do a certain range of motion. But also, people should hopefully get to the point to where they understand doing certain range of motions is the reason that certain people are getting hurt. So if when you're specifically doing shoulder and chest exercises, to where you do a certain range of motion and you try to come down to a certain point. So if you're coming down this far when you're doing your chest workouts, that's a decent stretch. But that's also the reason certain people are getting hurt, tearing their pec, fucking up their shoulder. Making it to where you, especially if you go heavy. So if you're not going heavy, then and you want to go down that far, go for it. But so that you can get that stretch. But when it comes to lifting heavy, and then certain people say, well, lift lighter, those are probably people who aren't that strong or just that pathetic. So I believe, since I've actually recorded these, this is my second set. Especially for people who do pull-ups or try to do pull-ups. And again, with the form, to not go all the way down, there are so many people for decades that have been doing that, to where they do pull-ups and they don't go all the way down, do a certain number of pull-ups and think that's impressive. But it's like, if you don't go all the way down, there was always almost pretty much no point of you even doing it. Especially when you see people with big arms, there's a possibility that they pretend to do pull-ups, and they'll do, a pull-up to where they barely go up, and they do all these reps pretending to do pull-ups. So, they'll, instead of going all the way down, they might stop here, or they do go all the way down, but only come up some, and they're nowhere close to being up there toward the bar, and do however many reps certain people do and think that's impressive, which is fairly funny to me, and brag about it. Oh, big guys, people think big guys can't do pull-ups. First of all, I think I've proven many times on being able to do pull-ups, curl-ups, and all these different things, even though I'm not as big and as heavy as some others. Um, and then two, to go all the way down, and then also go up there, compared to barely moving and doing 10 or more reps, but having the worst form you can possibly have. So I mean, if there's certain things that you're doing and you think it worked for you, well, high hopes you don't get hurt doing stuff wrong, depending on what it is that certain people are doing, or getting hurt due to overuse, doing so many reps so often, even if you are using good form. So again, if you think it works for you, go for it. But that doesn't mean anybody should force their opinion on other people, especially people you don't even know. That's just stupid. That's just stupid and just sad that anybody can be that bored to try to force their opinion on somebody else. Compared to just sharing your fun, like many of us are. And then in my case, depending on uh, what stage you're in and how much help you need or want, to be able to message me on Instagram at Fuller Fitness BNY, and you know ask certain questions if they're questions that actually make sense. Ask certain questions, and then if you're actually interested in hiring an online personal trainer, and we see whether or not it's a good fit to have me as your trainer or for me to have you as a client, because we both get to make that decision. Third and last set, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Um, do I want to? What can I do? Do I want to stay here or use that? Shouldn't be much of a difference. So, all right, trying to figure out whether or not I'm gonna use the neutral grip bar that a lot of people will use at the gym, or those of us that work out at home. I do have it over there, but I think I'll use my own body weight regardless, but either to use these handles, and I can put a link at the bottom so you can look around the website and decide whether or not you want to purchase those handles, for those of us who like to be able to do pull-ups with certain hand positions, and using certain equipment to do it. And it's not expensive in my opinion, even after taxes and shipping and handling. So yeah, just to move this closer in and to do 2 or 3 sets, with two to four reps, likely two. And I'm feeling really good, compared to when I started. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to lift as heavy today, but I did my dumbbell rows with 145 pounds. Again, I can put it on here too, but I recorded that on a different platform. Um, I might decide to put it on here too, but yeah, just do stuff that works for you, and then also try to take your time. For the most part. I've done 2 different hand positions, about to do a third hand positions, all without it being less than 30 minutes, and while talking to you. So it doesn't necessarily have to take long when you're lifting heavy, as long as you're not talking too much, looking at your phone too much, taking too much time in between sets for whatever the reason. Even though in my case, I'm actually trying to help. So those are my favorite. I think those became my favorite when I come closer in. Those became my favorite. Something about the way it feels to have my hands, same when I used to do diamond push-ups. Something about that just felt so damn good. So then there's the fact that I like pull-ups and dips anyway. There are so many people in the world who can't do them, and it's not just one group of people who can't do them. There's a lot of people who can't do pull-ups, especially with good or decent form. There are a lot of people who can't do dips, especially with good or decent form. So spending more time trying to be impressive, trying to do a certain number when you are blessed if you can do at least one or two. And then if you can do more than that, great. But if you can do one or two, that's pretty damn good, especially if you weigh a certain amount. Because there are a lot of people who can't do push-ups, pull-ups, or dips at all. So the one word that's been my favorite for a while now is perspective, and having an understanding on whether or not certain people can do stuff or not, whether certain people can do something a certain number of times, the speed that people can do certain things at, whether certain people can do pull-ups, dips, push-ups, and certain things at all. So just having a different, better perspective on what, how, and when to do stuff. Whatever your exercise is, whatever your workout is. Second set. So again, for anyone who, I think I'm going to do one more, but anyone who believes they should just do one or two sets and max out with 10 or more reps, that's what you want to do, go for it. Again, the good thing is if it works, why not do it? If it's not working, why are you still doing it? So, do what works for you. Hopefully you enjoy doing it. And then even if you don't enjoy doing it, if you are doing certain things and you see a benefit of it, from it, then do it. So for those of us who lift heavy, take a certain amount of time in between sets, and for those of us who lift heavy and still able to get the workout done without it taking as long, and it, nothing special about those of us who lift kind of heavy and get stuff done faster. I think it's just the fact that, and it should be obvious, many of us don't feel a need to try to do every back exercise in one day. So for me, especially for young people, just feeling like you should do everything all in one workout or whatever. So, I believe it's okay for you to do certain workouts this week, and then next week do something else. Then that third week, go back to whatever you did the first week, and then the fourth week you go back to whatever you did the second week. So you're still doing it twice a month, and still being able to improve in though however many exercises that you're doing. So 1 week doing certain things. So I did rows before this, different angles and pull-ups, compared to next week I'll be doing lat pull downs with a bar, wide grip lat pull downs and neutral grip pull downs and whatever else I might end up doing. So this week it's dumbbell rows in this, compared to next week it'll be barbell rows and lat pull down with a bar and all that. So giving yourself more opportunity to have a certain look, more opportunities to get better at different things, and making it to where you are not mentally or physically bored or wasting your time with the workouts that you're doing. So I think this is the third set here. All right. So yeah, just I think that's one of the many. I don't think it should be much different for anybody, but for me, one, depending on when certain people see this video, it is early February 2025. I am currently 39 years old. I've been vegan for almost 5 years this month. And to constantly improve, even during in your later years, to improve on certain things in certain ways, in ways that work for you. Um, and I'm actually doing things different. I believe I thought about doing things the way that I'm going to do them now. Hopefully, with high hopes I don't change my mind. But the first week of the month, um, do sets of 2, and then the second week, I think I'm gonna do sets of 3 or 4, probably 3. The third week, do sets of 4 or 5. And then the fourth week, sets of 6. And it just gives you the opportunity to challenge yourself differently in terms of the amount of weight, and doing a certain number of reps with a certain amount of weight, which is what workouts have always been. Even if you're trying to lose weight, you should still lift a certain amount with high hopes that the weight that you lift isn't overly easy. Like, you should still get to a point to where once you get to the last 3 reps, that it feels like you've actually been doing something compared to you just doing it and that's it. So you should actually, like, I've done these and I can feel them. I don't know if they look easy to you while I was doing them, but to do them, to feel them, like, I feel really good. I feel much better right now than I did when I started, to where I felt so, I don't know if I felt tired, but I just didn't feel, I just wasn't sure if I would be able to do dumbbell rows with 145 pounds today. And then possibly be able to do pull-ups, especially to do wide grip pull-ups, compared to having to do wide grip pull-down with the bar. So that's another fun thing about workouts, to where at the beginning you might feel like you don't have it, but then once you get started, all of a sudden you are either able to do what you planned on doing, or sometimes you might be able to do more than what you planned on doing. So I'm not doing more than I planned on doing, but I'm glad that I feel as good as I do doing it. So, and this isn't it for for my workout. I'll actually do a little more stuff, but this, for the sake of not taking up a lot of time for you guys who are watching, and I thank you for that. So hopefully you like the video. Press the like button to help me out. And then not only to help me out, there's a strong possibility you will allow me to help others by you pressing the like button, subscribing, so that you're updated on the next video without having to look around for it. And then if you know of other people who thought they knew certain things or need to know certain things as far as what I did, what I said in this video or any of the others, to share this video and any other videos you wouldn't mind sharing to help certain people who want help, certain people who need help. And you know, why not get some help? Especially with YouTube, you don't pay for it. So with YouTube, you don't pay for it. So you know, to watch any of my videos and to subscribe and you know share, you know, all that stuff is free for the you know, free for the both of us. But it does help me, and then not only for it to help me, it will likely help others depending on where they are in their journey. When I was growing up, I wish I had more information. I had no idea on where to get information. Now you can get it from so many spots. But you know, for me to be one of the channels that people get to get advice from, see certain things from, certain things that they may not have seen, didn't think of using, utilizing certain hand positions, taking a certain amount of time in between sets, whether you eat before the workout or not, eating a certain amount before the workout or not. And it's just so many things that people might not know. And or have more appreciation for my opinion of how, what, and when to do stuff compared to someone else. So again, hopefully you subscribe to help me, as well as helping some others. And then, like I said, to press the like button if you liked it, or even if certain people didn't like it all that much, but know of others who might like it and appreciate it and sharing it. So hopefully you enjoyed it at least a little bit. This is Martone, owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness. Take care.